afternoon, everyone. I'm Kuchiri, and welcome to this week's episode of Doctor Who Review. A lot of things have gone on. It's a mess right now. And to join me on my virtual left, their spy code name was double, but plot twist, it's actually a V mirrored. It's Frezno.
Hello, everybody. We were supposed to do not the Ark, apparently, but Tom Baker's Shada. But Brainiac still has the COVID and is recovering.
Oh,
And
I
Cat had
thought I thought he was still recovering from the beatdown you gave him because you were in on the joke until the episode was posted. I thought you just went.
Speaking of not being in on the joke, what did you do this week?
Oh, right after we recorded the podcast, I watched the arc because I was in on the joke.
Yeah.
So I actually saw the arc. Anyway,
Isn't it great to watch Doctor Who you don't have to watch because your friends on this podcast prank you?
yeah, I know. I mean, so we're just going to make this podcast extra long with a lot of bloopers to make Rain more. So we're not doing the Shada. We're Kat's also out for personal reasons. Much love and prayers to Kat. Hopefully she'll be back soon.
Yeah. They gave me all the time I needed in the February of last year, so much the same support all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll keep this dumb shit going on. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, it's just the two of us, and we're doing the thing that I suggested we do last time, which is get Kuchiri's capsule report on his marathon of the Chibnall year.
So
God help
last
us.
month, because it's basically due to my work and how hectic it's been, I haven't been able to keep up with the Chibnall area. The last episode I watched was Twice Upon a Time back. That was what, Christmas 2017?
Correct.
Yeah. So I saw all the episodes of Doctor Who was on HBO Max, and I wanted to rejoin the podcast. So I was like, hey, I'll just rewatch all the episodes. And I made a channel on my Discord, and I just posted my thoughts as I was watching, and I watched all 29 episodes of Jodie Whittaker in 10 days.
As it's more Chibnall than a man should take on at once. In one go.
Which is weird, because I was also, watching the episodes of the podcast for Series 11. I stopped during Series 12 because that was just way too much time to invest. But you guys were so positive of Series 11 until the very end.
I know. Like looking back on my blog posts, as you were going along, I was linking them to you. I was like, wow, I was really generous and nice to this. It's just, the Chibnall era is like the sandstorm. At some point or another, it wears you down to bone. There's just nothing left but this void.
Before we get to the episode by episode, I mean, I was positive for most of these episodes as well. And I think it's mostly due to, especially in series 11-12, Jodie Whittaker and Bradley Walsh just acted their asses off. Like, if it wasn't for those two, maybe we would have seen how bad Chibnall was early.
Well, those are the two Chibnall gave the most care about.
True. Anyway, so I guess episode by episode?
Sure thing. Let's just rapid fire through them, because, I mean, we got to do like a couple minutes each episode, otherwise we'd have like a 4-hour podcast. But
So, I love my notes for the first episode. So, first off, you got that whole massive pile of shit that's in the middle of the woods that Ryan's found. That I first was making shit jokes, and I'm like, wait, no, that's just a Dragon Quest slime.
it's like a blue Hershey's Kiss, but yeah, it is also a Dragon Quest slime. Hooray! It's slime draws near.
Anyway, few things I liked about the episode is when Jodie fell into the train. The second that happened, there was a remix of the theme song that they didn't use again for any of these 29 episodes. I'm like, that's actually a really good remix of the song. It's like, I think if they used that, the drums of it for more, I don't know, maybe it would have impacted more epic moments, but that was a good touch. Oh, and then Tim Shaw in the armor.
Yeah.
I made the joke that, hey, it's a Kamen Rider the Bee. And I posted the image of Kamen Rider the Bee armored form next to Tim Shaw in the Discord.
Where is this guy?
I sent it in the. I reposted it in the.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. Funny story. The bee's armor actually breaks off, and there's another form underneath it, kind of like Tim Shaw, but it's not disgusting.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, Jodie was really good in this episode. I said the companions were right, worrying me how 3 is going to work out with how limited these episodes seem to be, which, in the case of one of them, is true.
Yeah.
We'll get more onto Yaz later. Before we get that far, as I was copying and pasting everything I wrote about these episodes into a notepad, guess how many times I said the name Yaz?
Ooh, 3 times.
Ah, okay, a little under. You're a little bit on the underside, but yeah, no, it's not much. It's not much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So first episode. Okay, the first episode, they were like trying to go for a regeneration story, but like half-assed it, which is fine. I mean, I think we said during Robot, I would just be perfectly fine if 14 is like knocked out for like a month, and we get their first story after they regenerate and recover. You know, we
I
don't
mean,
need another. We don't need another. Oh, I'm fighting regeneration.
yeah.
What else for episode 1? Oh, there was nothing that came out of. You have no right to do that.
Well, I mean, that's a worrying trend. It's like at the time you're like, oh, Women Who Fell Earth is a good episode, but you notice these little things, and they're like, they keep coming up in the Chibnall area. You know, oh no, you killed a guy. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's a bad thing you done.
That's bad. Stop it. I had to joke about the aliens. What was their name again?
Stanza.
This Sinza. I was like, what if they all have their own trophies? Like we meet one that has like fingernails instead of teeth.
Oh god.
And then we meet one that's like, I collect human noses.
Okay.
A Futurama reference. Let's Oh, you haven't seen that episode of Futurama, have you?
I have not seen much Futurama in a long time. So
Okay, well, I'm not going to go on with the joke because it's a little gross, but
yeah.
let's just say the response would have been something was wibbly wobbly.
Figured.
But yeah, no, I mean, the first episode wasn't bad. I mean, it was good. I don't know what else to say. Oh, I didn't like how she made the Sheffield screwdriver. Like, we're talking about technology from the 50th century somehow being made in a spoon factory.
Well, I guess she's good at hacking the Stanza shit. They really wanted to make that Sheffield Steel joke.
They did. Like, I think I would have had. You remember my rants about the sunglasses? I think I would have ranted about that back in the day.
That's funny. We were up to like the source the last week, and I saw a pair of Bluetooth sunglasses, and I was like, oh my god, they're real.
Oh god. Wasn't the Google glasses thing around the time 12 was showing off his sunglasses?
Could be a little later. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But so Woman Who Fell to Earth is it was a thing. I mean, I didn't like that Grace bought it at the end, but you know, it's like
I get what you guys said that she was being fridge, but with how much they use Grace throughout series 11, 12, I don't feel like it's a true fridging because she was still as much as a character.
I
mean, you have to have some way to get Ryan and Graham to appreciate each other.
And I mean, it did get us. It Takes You Away, which is one of the best episodes of Series 11, as we'll get to later. But anything else on Woman, or shall we move on?
No, let's just move on to the amazing race. I mean,
The Ghost Monument, which I was very nice to in my blog. I was like, oh, it's like a throwback to a William Hartnell episode. They're exploring a strange planet. Like, oh, a William Hartnell episode would kind of have a point.
the point with this episode was to bait the timeless child. That was the only point to this episode.
It's weird that he did it once and then never again.
He was trying to keep that promise. I remember you guys said he promised there was not going to be a bad wolf in Series 11.
Yeah, he just moved it all to Series 12 instead and had no hints to that. Then why even do it here? It's like weird.
One of the things I did like about this episode was there was a very decently long, slow scene in the middle where all the characters just sat and talk. Not like sat and talk in a frantic way, like throughout Moffat, where it was just moment. You actually got a feeling that they were getting to know each other. We actually got character growth. We got to feel more about these characters,
Yeah.
That's something that the Moffat era really didn't do much. Was Moffat era was mostly moment. Like you really didn't get a quiet moment where characters talked about their dreams or something,
Well, I don't know offhand to say or not.
I mean,
all I'm thinking of is a Dark Water, the whole TARDIS thing, but that's a moment followed by a moment. I get what you go for.
Yeah, but like all the character growth we got from series, let's talk about 11th Hour. We find out everything about Amy through a bunch of just moments. Like we find out Amy doesn't have parents through a hectic situation, and she just has to blurt that out in the middle of, we gotta stop this alien from inside your house,
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It felt nice to actually just have a quiet scene. I guess that's the best way I could explain it. Not like an actual character growth moment, because like whenever I watched that, I sat there like, wait, and I couldn't for the life of me think of any moment aside from Series 1, maybe Series 3, where the Doctor and the companions just chilled and had a conversation. So I thought that was really nice. Again, they do this a little bit more in the next episode with Ryan and Yaz.
Oh yeah, I know the scene you're talking about there.
Yeah, we'll get onto Rosa here in a bit, or we could save Rosa for the end.
Well, I mean, we should go chronological.
Yeah, I know, but like this episode, the second episode of the Ghost Monument was like half really good, like, and then the second half was just, oh god, this is just, oh okay.
I mean, I should note I haven't revisited any of these episodes since they aired, so like, I'm saving the Great Chibnall rewatch for for next year when it's all done.
Oh, okay.
So God help me there.
But yeah, no. Some of the things I thought was funny is whenever the spaceship was crashing, why did you just keep running straight? Why didn't you just go left or right?
The Alien Covenant thing, or no, Prometheus.
Yeah,
the Prometheus.
Yeah, whenever I think the Doctor was crashing. Oh yeah, no, the beginning of the episode was hilarious. The Doctor arguing with the captain for like 5 minutes straight. That was just hilarious.
I liked the twist of the ghost mine. That's a cute thing.
I mean, I felt like the second they started talking about it, and before the host, whoever the wasted character actor was, yeah, no, because it's like, oh, they gotta get the Tardis back. How are they? Oh, that's how they. Oh, also, Liz, I guess we could also talk about my thoughts on the TARDIS design. I thought the console looks great. I like the quartz, I guess. Yeah. But I didn't like how the whole outside is green screen now.
I liked it when they lit it in blue in the Tesla episode.
True. Yeah. No. I wish they did more of the color changing thing because I like the orange is. I like orange. Orange is my favorite color. But whenever they were doing different colors and like whenever it turned red or blue or green in those
Hmm.
episodes, I thought that was cool. But the whole green screen thing, like when you notice that's a green screen, that's all you notice.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Because then it just makes you miss how practical the balls they made for Smith and Kapali were.
the
Because
balls.
yeah, they you seen the like the whole Tardis set for Smith and Capaldi, right?
Oh, I kind
Yeah,
of can't.
yeah. I mean, they're giant balls on the outside. Like they're just giant spears that they made for them for the set, so they can have the camera be in any corner they want instead of always having it be in a specific angle from like Doctor One to
Yeah, you get full 360 coverage of that type of thing.
yeah. I like that. I thought that was great. Aside from that, as I said, I the end the second half of this episode was just bad. The first half was great.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's not an all-time winner an episode, but at the time I was not. Maybe not so much now, but the next one, good.
So I'm a white guy. I really don't have much to say to this, but
It is a deeply uncomfortable episode, Rosa, and that is kind of the point of the episode. Nevertheless, there are still some things that we can comment on.
I still I feel like oh man. I did nothing but rant about this episode. It we the time assassin did not need to be added. The doctor and the companion should have just been side characters. I
So it
mean,
should be more like a Hartnell era historical story.
yes, just make it educational. Like you can have Rosa interact with the doctors and the other characters. You can have the scene where Ryan is trying to give the glove back to the lady, and the man, is going off on it. You could focus more on Rosa. Maybe have her, you know, maybe have her talk to the doctor, and maybe Yaz becomes an idiot and goes, "Oh, why don't you just stay in the white?" No, no, that won't work
Oh
because
God,
you need to give Rosa all the power here,
yes.
and the fact that the I know a lot of the reviews said they did give Rosa all the power in the end. No, the doctor even said himself, if they left the bus, then there would be seats for her, and
They
it's
had to
like,
become they had to become complicit in the part of the
yeah.
historical.
So
You know,
basically, at the end, you're saying that the doctor's the reason Rosa did not move her seat.
and it's also kind of reductive to say, oh, if she doesn't get on the bus at this time, oh, all of history will evaporate. It's like you realize she wasn't the only civil rights actor, or that this wasn't
Yeah.
just a spur of the moment thing. It's like, but there's those complaints, and also, like I said in our last story, where we just keep comparing it to Rosa, that a 51st century bigot, kind of, we can't imagine that history.
Yeah, so honestly, the doctor needs to be a side character. I would have much loved it if it was more of like a historical episode. Yes, have all the scenes, as I was saying. Have the scenes with Ryan being threatened by the racist white guy. Have the scene in the restaurant. I think that scene in the restaurant was great.
Also, it's okay because they named an asteroid after her.
Well, and then like if they really wanted the doctor and Rosa to interact, maybe have the doctor take Rosa to, you know, 2016 or so. Or well, wait, no, this was 2018. So I mean, maybe take Rosa to 2008. Have
Yeah.
Rosa see Obama be elected. Like this is what you lead to.
Which, I mean, also, it's coming out when, I mean, we know who Obama's successor was, and
Yes, yes,
he was, and that was, and he was in power during that, so it's deeply, deeply unfortunate.
it's very unfortunate. But like, I mean, you could give her the Van Gogh moment, the Van Gogh experience, right? After the fact. No, don't do it before she sits on the bus. Like, have her sits on the bus, have her go to prison, maybe have it be the next day after she comes out and she's walking with King, and maybe have her say to Yaz or Ryan, "Hey, I was worried that I was about ready to become the next Emmett Till." Like,
Okay.
have her have that fear. Like, make it be known that that was probably going through her mind back in 1960 when she, or 1950 when she stayed on that seat, or 60. Yeah,
Right.
60, yeah. Because Emmett Till just happened, and that was one of the worst. I mean, they're still investigating Emmett Till to today, even though there's no way any of the people can be charged for double jeopardy now.
I mean, are all those people like dead?
Some are still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that is going on with Emmett Till, but that, I mean, as I my roommate's been watching the documentaries, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, it's she just cries every single time because it is that heartbreaking. This how unfortunate that whole story was, and it was just mostly because he was black.
Yeah, shame.
I mean, the whole conversation is uncomfortable, but the fact that you make the doctor complicit, and it's basically the doctor's fault that Rosa stayed in her seat, just takes all the initiative away from Rosa. And it almost spits in the face of the last 60 years of, social justice here.
Civil progress, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's and I said this after the other possibly problematic episode. It's not as problematic, but imagine in 2061 they do a sci-fi show, does an episode saying it was aliens that did 9/11.
Oh God. Yeah, I see what you mean there.
Or in 2079, there's an episode that talks about how COVID is just an alien bacteria.
I mean,
like, you don't do sci-fi on serious moments in history.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why sci-fi worked in stuff like, the moon landing episode or Van Gogh is it did not fictionalize specific moments. It just used the players involved to tell a different story, right?
Right.
But you're sci-fiing a real event that triggered progress in America.
Mm-hmm.
That affected millions of people everywhere. And I don't know. It's just...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that kind of sci-fi.
Right.
And the fact that, we now have this time assassin. Why? Why did we need a time assassin? Why did we need a racist white supremacist from the year 7700?
I mean, there's something to be said about, don't make everything in history the fault of aliens or people from the future or whatever, because you got to highlight our complicity in historical events, the faults of the people at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how else I can say this without looking bad. Because, again, I'm a white guy. I really don't have much to, my opinion shouldn't really, matter as much onto this episode. I mean, I would love to hear how Rosa Parks' family thought about this episode.
I mean, yeah, just, there's a lot of POC who have shared their thoughts on this episode, so, go seek them out. Don't, take our thoughts as, gospel, because we fucking talk about this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just wanted, again, it's like, if I were in charge of this episode, I would have made it where they were bystanders, still have the powerful moments where, Ryan's like, oh god, this is why I always like to be my color, during this time, Have Yaz be confused because she isn't black or white. Have the scene in the restaurant. Have that. You can have all those scenes. You can have the scene of Ryan meeting King. Just get rid of the time assassin. have them be bystanders while this happens, and then give Rosa Parks the Van Gogh experience. Have her see the first black president. Have her reaction to the first black president, and she's being a cornerstone of how he got there.
That'll be something. So is that all for Rose?
Yeah, I mean, let's move on. Sorry.
Arachnids UK.
I actually like this episode. I was watching your guys' podcast. I had more positivity to this episode than you guys did.
I mean, the ending still is like, that's the first real.
The ending's messed up, but it was still, it was a nice palate cleanser after Rosa.
It's a dumb fucking giant spider episode, you know.
But there's one rant I had, and I think Jodie says something like, "I'm still trying to figure myself out," and this is episode 4 of a 10-episode season. I feel like you needed to figure yourself out by this point.
I mean, to be fair, well, Capaldi had more seasons, but it was about this time in Listen where I really started vibing with Capaldi. So, yeah.
I mean, I even said in my notes, I think I complained about it. Complained about Capaldi taking this long too.
But then again, with Matt Smith, like 10 minutes into 11th hour, I'm like, oh, Doctor Who, love him.
Oh, and no, and the 11th hour speech is, and it's like, oh yeah, no, he's the Bonfide.
Yeah. So Capaldi took a little longer, but I mean, he's my favorite modern Doctor now. But
yeah, I mean, Capaldi had some great. I love how they gave Graham some good character moments. There was a thing here, and then like I find it funny that after I bring this up in my notes, she never does this again. But in the first like half of season 1, Jodie had this whole gimmick of, that's the wrong question. The right question is, you know, I like that stick. I thought that was a really good stick.
I think other doctors have done that before too.
I don't remember. I don't think Capaldi ever. No, Capaldi definitely didn't do it. I think Matt may have.
Maybe.
No, Matt didn't phrase it that way though. Matt was in the middle of one of his whenever Matt did something like that, he was in the middle of one of his like ADHD moments where he was like speaking at 200 words a minute, and then suddenly asked a question at the end of it, like kind of what's his name? Columbo kind of deal. Like one more question, but he didn't say it that way. It was like
Hi, Mike, by the way.
Huh?
Hi, Mike, by the way.
Hi, Mike. What?
Michael Hoovian, watcher of the show, loves Columbo. Just
okay.
Let's give him a little shouty. Go ahead.
Good shout. But like, so that's what Matt did. Like Matt would answer a question or ignore a question, go on like 200 word a minute speech real fast, and it's like in the Crispy Hill, but who is she? You know, just out of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think David Tennant did right question, wrong question, but I haven't seen most of his stuff in years.
Yeah.
Eccleston definitely didn't. You know more about classic Doctors than I do, so it could be a classic Doctor thing.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Needless to say, I liked how Jodie was doing it. I thought it was good because it helped move the scene along, and I was hoping that was going to be her fantastic, her like whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think at this point they were still trying to get what is it? I complained about it. Did I copy and paste it? Let's get Shift on.
Oh yeah.
That was dumb. I didn't like that.
Eh.
She is not an RPM Power Ranger. She doesn't say stuff like that.
She's not Scottish
anymore. Anyway, the letter for Ryan's dad was great because it adds a lot more questions that they didn't bring up.
At least not until resolution.
Well, it's not even resolution. It was more like, they could have had this whole discussion, but they never did. It would have been a great Ryan character building moment, but we don't know how long Ryan, Graham, and Yaz have been traveling. You know, they could make 500 Big Finish audio productions based off the travels from Ghost Monument to Rosa to this, right?
They could.
It could have been a month, it could have been 5 months, but that letter was delivered the same day as the funeral.
Yeah.
So for 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, Ryan has been seething over the fact that his dad didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Just to find out that there's a letter explaining why he didn't show up the day they were abducted by accident.
Goddamn.
So that could have been just a good moment of him just sitting down talking with the doctor. I mean, that could have been a great moment of him just sitting down talking with Yaz or Graham. Like, for months, man, I've been thinking that he just didn't care, and it's been, you know, arbitrary months to months. Yeah. But it was actually hours.
My God.
You know, they could have just had something like that. Give Ryan that bit of, man, dude, that sucks, dude. You know, just some more caring, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I guess what you're going for.
Okay, I love Nadia. Should have been companion. I wonder if there was a deleted scene where Nadia asks about Yaz and Graham, because Nadia asks about Yaz and everyone else.
Yeah.
That would just been funny, like, just the scene with Nadia and Graham near the end when they were trying to herd the spiders, and Nadia had like, you know, and Graham's like, I could be her father, or something like that.
Oh, hey, it's the first bit of Phasmin crumb given in the show.
Yeah, I guess if you want to say that.
Yeah, so, Arachnids it's I mean, I kind of hate the ending.
The ending's bad. They could have done something else. Like, the doctor could have created a weird spider cage and dropped them off on a planet with other giant spiders and had them be a family.
And, or, you know, stop the not Donald Trump. He just walks away.
No, that's the issue. I think I said about this during, like, I made that comment, like, man, there's just no resolution with the Doctor in any of these episodes. Or, like, there was subplots in all these episodes as well that, you know, whenever, like, the people who were captured in episode 1, like, Smith, Capaldi, and Tennant would have had a line, and I went ahead and saved all those people, you know? Like, those people are freed. Just as a sideline. Like, sometimes they didn't show us the subplot being resolved. It was just the Doctor saying they did that. And we're like, okay, awesome.
It's not a bug, it's a feature, as we find out. But,
yeah.
We good to move on to the next one?
Sure.
All right. The Pating Dilemma.
I think around this time they allowed Walsh to just, whenever he said random jokes while they were filming, they're like, oh yeah, let's keep that.
Let an ad-lib.
I mean, there's a line where the lead doctor is like, oh, if we sync the old Ocular. And then Bradley's like, yo, yeah, sync the old Ocular. You know, after this. Like, I thought that was just hilarious. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. Let's just give Walsh all the ad-libbing. Just give him all the ad-libbing. The Mel birthing scene was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was great. It was a good character moment for both Ryan and Graham. But ultimately, the episode was good, but not memorable.
It's you know, it's mid.
Yeah. The monster, it's refreshing to have a brand new monster that's different from Moffat's creature with one rule you have to follow.
Yeah, Moffat really likes that. It's like, oh my god. Oh no, if you perform this autonomic body function, the creature is going to get you. Oh no.
Whatever you must do, do not fart. Don't fart. You fart.
That's he did get to that well a lot, not didn't he? To be fair, don't blink, don't breathe,
Don't think.
don't don't think of a number in your head because you could be a simulation.
Yeah, so just the cute Stitch-like alien. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
It's
I mean,
that's
it wasn't bad. It was unique. It didn't get destroyed by Deus Ex Machina like most of Moffat's monsters because Moffat just made them JoJo Final Boss levels of bullshit.
Moffat. Every Moffat enemy is King Crimson.
Basically, every Moffat enemy is, Killer Queen.
Oh God. Well, oh Lord. But
Bites the dust. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about episode 5 in season 11.
you know. I will say the whole thing with the adoption angle is there are probably people who could make an essay on that on Chibnall's view of that, given the whole timeless child uh, revelation and all that shit. There's something there. But on to what I think is a good episode. I don't know if you liked it or not. Demons of the Punjab.
In reflection, it is a good episode. Whenever I was watching it, I did not have good words for it.
Reflection. Hit the button, Rain.
Ah!
Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert.
And I know he's gonna do it too. I know he's gonna sigh and roll his eyes like in the monkey gif. But
And now the monkey gift comes up and
hey, Rain, while you're at it, put the monkey gif in too. Barry put up wolf job.
But we're talking about an event that destroyed so many families, over 1 million dead, and they're adding aliens to it.
Well, they're not. Well, they're adding aliens to it, but the aliens are there to solemnly observe it. Kind of like it's funny when you think about it with the Moffat. Like, these people die, and these aliens come, and then the glass aliens who Twice Upon a Time come.
Oh,
and
that's what I said in the chat. Like, these guys are basically the Testament again.
Yeah, it's kind of, but they're more about just observing.
Testimony, not testament. Sorry.
They're more kind of observing instead of copying everything that they were.
But the thing is, you gotta understand. Like, I was 8 minutes in, and the aliens showed up. I'm like, oh God, why are you doing this? You just had Rosa. They just said that a bunch of families. It's a hard moment, and then it just focus on one family. Honestly, this episode could have done without the aliens, and all the moments would have hit right.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean,
But the thing is, it wasn't as like I can understand this isn't as insulting as Rosa to me, because Rosa, you're basically spitting in the face of 60 years of civil rights movements.
This is more like looking at how one family was torn apart by a big tragedy.
Yes, and they didn't invalidate the tragedy. They didn't.
This is one of the best episodes of the Chibnall era, I would say.
I mean, it's good. I still had that whole mindset that, if you're taking very serious moments in history and trying to sci-fi it, you're, again, imagine an episode of a sci-fi show in 2061 where it was aliens that did 9/11. Like,
there's certain levels of respect you have to follow.
Yeah, that's basically it. And that's, like, I mean, my mind, like, you gotta understand, like, I watched episode 6 the same day I watched Rosa, so I was still pretty seething about it.
Yeah, that's what binging does. I mean, we had 3 weeks to decompress from that.
No, I mean, in hindsight, it was a decent episode, and it's, like, one of the 2 episodes Yaz gets more than 5 lines in.
Yeah, I mean, the critique has been that this episode exists, or Yaz exists, so that this episode can exist, and then everything else is just like, oh, she's just there. Who cares? She was on there to make the partition.
Yaz, the best way to describe Yaz, other than Martha 2.0, is Johnny Young Boss, right?
The second Black Power Ranger,
and the big voice actor does a lot of cons. And he always described his stint in Power Rangers as he was the Background Ranger.
Oh my god.
He was just there to shout, "It's morphin' time," once every 3 episodes, and maybe would have had an episode where he got more than 2 lines. That's Yaz.
Yeah.
Yaz is the Background.
Oh my god.
No, but I mean, yeah, it's a good episode in hindsight. But while I was watching it, I just felt the same anger I was feeling from Rosa, which was probably bad. But
Historicals involving aliens requires a little bit of tact, so you're wary on that. Yeah. So the next episode, oh boy, Curblam.
I'm going to mirror what everyone else said, and I understand your position on this.
Yeah, you know how you kind of know how I feel about this.
No, we had this discussion, but it's I enjoyed it, but I think I enjoyed it because at this point it was 6 episodes where the Doctor had no resolution. Finally, the Doctor actually did something to stop the bad guy from.
Yeah, listen, I will say this is one of the most well-made episodes of the series. It just happens to be morally evil, in my opinion. So
yeah,
that's a huge stepping.
I mean, Capaldi Doctor would not have stood for half this episode.
A year and a half ago, we did Oxygen.
Yes. Capaldi Doctor would not have stayed for this episode. And I understand your point that Capaldi Doctor would have just blown up the whole factory within 5 minutes.
I think half the Doctors would have blown up that factory within 5 minutes. If not all of them, but you know.
Tennant might have left us. I think Tennant would have left us standing. Smith
Tennant did Planet of the Youth, so, well, then again, he didn't really do anything for that. That kind of happened on his own. But I don't know what.
Yeah, no, it just depends. I mean, I understand, like, Amazon's evil, like, frick. One of the first things I said, oh, hey, an Amazon's evil episode. Hey, did you know that people actually die in the warehouses?
Yeah.
That's a true story. People get overworked. Yep. Yeah. But I think what's funny is I put down as positives and negatives. Positive, it feels like a standard Doctor Who episode. Bad guy gets his karma, any side plot gets resolved. That's a scary concept for this season. Because everything got resolved. Everything got resolved once.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, but also, it's, like I said, it's very well made, but at the end of the day, the system bridged the woman to teach the bad guy a lesson, and then the Doctor says the system is the problem. It's like, for God's sakes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just enjoyed it more because I think after the Doctor being so passive, and I think we made the joke that the Capaldi told her to be kind, she was just too kind to everyone, that she didn't stop bad guys.
Yeah, 13 really, it really feels like she took everything that he said at the end of Twice Upon a Time, and it's like the finger curls in the monkey's paw.
Yeah. So, the Doctor actually stops the bad guy personally this episode, which feels good.
Which is a rarity. Be honest, it's a rarity.
Okay, let's from this one, let's think of the other 21 episodes from this point on.
I even counted this when we did our Series 12 retrospective. There were only like 2 or 3 where she did direct action.
None in Flux. There was not one direct thing in Flux.
Nope. And didn't that piss me off? But we'll get back to that.
And so, and then, would you say Eve?
Yes.
Kind of. Okay, so what?
She set a trap for them. Yes.
4 stories in 30 episodes where the Doctor actually did doctoring.
The count might be higher. It might, but it's not much more than, like, I wouldn't say it cracks 10. So that's disconcerting. But Curblam, it is very well made. I find it evil, but your mileage may vary.
Yeah, okay, if this was a Capaldi episode and it was done this exact same way, I would probably be on your side on this.
I mean, yeah.
Capaldi would have handled everything here completely differently.
And you can see that if you go back and watch the episode of
yeah.
Oxygen. Or Thin Ice even.
But in regards to Series 11, this is a good episode, and it's one of the best episodes of this season.
God help me. I mean, you're right, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. If you just keep Series 11 in the bubble, Curblam's one of the best episodes. But if you put Curblam in any other Doctor story, like, you know how sometimes they rewrite stories with different I was going to make the joke that my recommendation after we did Shada was going to be the 8th Doctor's version of Shada.
Oh yeah, that one. I never actually.
I mean, they sometimes rewrite that. I would love to see how Big Finish, because they got Eccleston and Tennant doing their like seasonal stories now. They're back to being like almost full time. Have them rewrite Curblam to Eccleston or Tennant's. I want to see how they will handle it.
Oh, I think Eccleston will fuck it up.
Oh yes, he will. Oh yes, he will.
But what's the next episode? It's Witchfinders?
Yes, and where you bash my man's Alan Cummings.
Did I?
You and Kat and Rain was insulting him. I'm like, oh my god, why are you guys doing this to my man's? I'm like,
I don't remember. I don't really remember what I said about this episode. He saved the day at the end. So again.
Well, you guys didn't like how he was playing the role.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
he was very flamboyant. He was really trying to push that the King James was more. I don't want to say the word flaming, but I just did. But like he was. All the words I want to describe him, I think he.
Flamboyant is yeah.
Yeah, flamboyant, but I'm not trying to use it as an insult. I think Alan Cummings was trying to play it more flamboyantly, more. I don't want to say. Yeah, they sound like I'm trying to be insulting, but I think Alan Cummings is doing it more on purpose because King James is that kind of figure that in the past he was bisexual. He had 2 male levels while he was still married to his wife. But then you have all the Christians here all across the world quoting the King James Bibles trying to condemn homosexuality.
Irony.
Yeah, and I think that's why Alan Cummings was going for a more flamboyant, more more
playing it up.
More, my character definitely loves men, kind of. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be insulting about it. I love that. Like, the second I saw Alan Cummings, that's how Alan Cummings was going to do King James. I'm like, oh, because, Alan Cummings has been in a lot of the shows, and I love him in everything. Even if the show is horrible, Alan Cummings is usually the best part of any show he's in. And I'm like, oh, that's definitely what Alan Cummings is going for. He is being hella gay, I guess, if you want to say it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's some interesting stuff where, for the first time, it's really like, oh, this doctor is a woman, and she's experiencing certain difficulties in resolving the plot because of that. Because she's in the past, and the past was a mistake.
The past is always a mistake. I mean, for the episode, it was a decent episode. I thought the zombies were cool.
The weird mud people, yeah.
I mean, they were genuinely creepy. Like, when the first shot of the mother with all the mud coming out, the black coming out of her eyes, so I'm like, oh god, that's actually creepy. That's good,
Creepy, yeah. But I don't really remember much about this one, to be honest.
The ending was kind of meh, the whole Morax thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not really like as bad as you've been saying about, oh, they put aliens in a historical. It's just, they're just sort of like, haha, I'm the alien because Doctor Who has an alien.
No. I mean, they could have, they could have done this whole thing where the bad guy was just misconceptions. And it would be fine. They just needed a random alien, and then that one female actress. I'm horrible with some actors and actresses' names if I don't know them well.
This is why we have Rain on, because he knows all this shit.
He knows all of them, but the face makeup, they put on her, and then they made her brown because she was a
Yeah.
tree alien monster thing.
The mud thing, yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, it. Alan Cummings carried that episode, especially the scene where the Doctor's tied up and the two of them had a long talk. Apparently,
Yeah.
Alan Cummings could have been like the 9th, 10th, or 11th Doctor, but said that he wouldn't move from New York, so they never pursued it.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I found out through my deep dive into a bunch of Doctor Who trivia.
Ah, doing the homework. So, yeah, Witchfinders, okay-ish.
It's, again, one of the better episodes.
Speaking of one of the better episodes, it takes you away. Now you know. This is not bullshit.
We had another discussion about this because I didn't enjoy this episode.
Oh my. Well, I am. How can I not enjoy this episode? This is like sprinkling pure Frezno core.
Yeah,
It's a goddamn Mirror World episode. How can I not?
it's a Mirror World episode. So here's the thing, and the things that I wanted to talk about finally came to me as I was copying over my notes.
Yeah.
And I think it's more because I've seen so much Classic Who now since I've done a couple of Classic Who podcasts. This episode felt like a 4-part Classic Who episode, with every twist being a new episode.
Yeah.
Every time they pulled out the new twist, like the mirror is a portal to this weird mirror world.
And
now
then Grace, and then revealing something, and then you reveal something else. I'm not sure what it would be.
Yeah, and like every time one of those reveals happened in the episode, like, you know, they go into the mirror world and they meet the creepy alien dude inside the mirror world.
Yeah.
And then they beat him, and then they find the opposite side of the mirror, and you're getting introduced to Grace. That's started the 3rd part. And then you find out that everything is a side dimension. Like, I feel like I would
Ascension side dimension.
I feel like I would have loved this episode more if instead of 4 twists, there was only 2. And they could have just stopped at that. They, you know...
I mean, the weird in between the spaces with the little guys. They were going to do more with it. There was going to be another monster, but they had to cut it because it was too overstuffed. So it's like, there's a lot going. It's kind of busy.
It's so busy. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if they wanted to keep it this busy, they should have made this a 2-parter.
Maybe, but I mean, well...
And then at the same time, you have to have discussions on how the dad was basically gaslighting the blind girl, and I mean,
that's fucked up.
That was fucked up.
But I mean, you end the goddamn episode with a goofy frog puppet.
Yeah,
I love that stupid frog so much.
The second the frog showed up, I'm like, okay, I have no investment in this episode anymore.
We'll chalk it up to aesthetic differences, but you know I love...
Yeah.
I love the giant snake in Kinda, so of course I'm gonna love a stupid little frog. Grace's voice.
No, it just, I don't know. I love the scenes with Mir, Grace, and Graham, and him having to make that decision.
And it's nice that you get the granddad thing at the end with Ryan and Graham.
Yeah.
You actually get some resolution. This could have been the finale, but instead we got
Tim Shaw Part 2.
Oh boy, this is a mess fucking episode.
So let's talk about the one thing that I dislike the most about this finale. Is Graham just randomly telling the Doctor, "Oh yeah, I'm going to kill Tim Shaw."
Yep. Oh no,
Why?
I am going to have a moral dilemma.
Why tell the Doctor that? Because you know what the response the Doctor's going to have is.
It's like, no, don't do that. I'm gonna. And then at the end of the episode, oh, are you going to kill me? No. Oh my. Wow. No. Well. Instead, we're just going to lock you in stasis for life. It's kind of muddled morals. It's like, oh, killing's bad, but locking a guy in eternity for life and giving him his comeuppance, oh, that's morally okay.
Again, it's Graham that saves the day in the end, though. I mean, he's the one that. But there's a conversation with Graham Ryan in the same episode that mirrored the whole conversation Graham and the Doctor had, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like the conversation with Graham and Ryan should have been the only conversation about Graham wanting to kill Tim Shaw.
It's a big mess of an episode. Like
It's a mess.
I remember the thing about, oh no, if you don't wear these inhibitors, the planet will drive you insane. And in the climax, oh no, we need to power this thing with our inhibitors, but we'll go insane, and nothing happens. It's like
No,
Chekhov's gun is right there.
no.
It's-
But you know, I can just read out what I typed out
Mhm.
for the whole series 11 as a whole.
Yeah.
It felt like a spin-off series.
Oof.
Graham and his companion Ryan, with the Doctor and Yaz being side characters. I mean, the whole season was Graham being the only main character that was worthwhile.
And it's telling that in a season that has, it's got a black companion, a South Asian actress as a companion, the focus is on the old white guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have showed me all those episodes and told me they were just random episodes in the middle of like a spin-off like Sarah Jane or K9, I would have believed you.
God almighty. So
Yeah.
so there were some decent episodes, but only a couple of real standouts. But that's well, we're not quite done with Series 11. We got
Yeah.
the middle bit.
Well,
where-
I still have a little bit more. I mean, I also typed out I feel sorry for Bradley Walsh breaking his back during this season.
Oh Jesus! Is that like figuratively or literally?
Yeah, figure because he carried every episode.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. Okay, but overall, nothing was actually terrible.
Hmm.
Take out take out your rant about Curblam. Take out my rant about Rosa.
Yeah, I would call the finale kind of terrible.
We got more. Yeah,
Terrible, bordering on mid. Like
all the mids, all the. I think
a 3.5.
I think I even told you all, like, if I were to rate these out of 10, I think overall they went from like 4 to 7. So on average they were all 5s, but they weren't like they weren't the end of Flux.
We'll get to that, but before that, here's our one Doctor Who episode for the calendar year of 2019, Resolution.
1 second. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes some more.
Sure. We'll just cut back. We'll cut back to that when you get that right here.
Well, I was also going to say, the reason why I keep on bringing up my notes is because I also linked you the notes in the chat so you can see where I'm at.
Yeah.
All these episodes in series 11 would have been great if they were in the middle of another season. Like, that's how each episode felt to me. Like, they were middling episodes. Like, you put this between, 11th Hour and, trying to think of the first part, Angel, in Series 5.
Yeah.
You could replace the Giant Well episode with Curblam with Smith as nothing would have been lost.
I mean, I would rather have Beast Below than Curblam.
But you see what I'm saying though. Like they each could have just been in the middle of a season. Like there was not an episode that felt like a season opener. There was no episode that felt important.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. But but Chibnall's going to make up for that in Series 12. But
oh yeah. So yeah. No. Jodie had amazing moments. Graham was the main character. Ryan was the Graham's companion, and Yaz was there.
Yep. So on to Resolution.
Okay, so Resolution. Why didn't the thieves check the satchels the third custodian was carrying? I thought that was weird. Oh yeah, we killed this guy to steal from him. Let's not steal from him. Okay.
I don't have a much particular.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. Then there's the weird octopus thing. And this is before... See, I didn't realize Resolution was a Dalek episode, right?
Okay.
And I went into this blind. And
Oh.
so there was a weird squid thing on the wall. So here I'm thinking it was just another new monster. And then there was a line that Joey says, this is the DNA of the most dangerous creature in the universe. And I'm like, oh God, how many times are we going to do this season? You know, the Morax is the most dangerous creature in the universe. The Pthing was the most dangerous creature in the universe. How many times are we going to do this in like 11 episodes, right?
The most dangerous fire in the universe.
Basically. Now you have wannabe Mother Brain that was buried on the Earth, who's also apparently the most dangerous creature in this. And then I'm like, oh God, that's actually a Dalek. When did they have the ability to take over human bodies?
Right now, apparently these recon Daleks, I guess.
And at that point, I hated the rest of the episode.
Oh my. I know we hated the two stupid goddamn jokes in it, the unit Brexit one and the goddamn Wi-Fi one.
Yeah. Like in the middle of the episode, they decided to finally change the voice and make him sound like a Dalek, when before he didn't have the Dalek voice because they were still trying to hide the twist. So that's by itself stupid. Daleks, as stated during the Tenet years, can't survive outside the casing. So how did this Dalek survive so many years outside the casing?
I think they were banking on filling in the plot hole with, it's a recon Dalek. But, you know, at some point it stops being like, okay, yeah, you can paper over the plot hole. It's like, okay, you're going to have to actually give a little explanation about how it can...
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, this Dalek is meant to be before, like, Hartnell's Daleks, right? How does it have more abilities than the most current Daleks? That's the thing that gets me the most. It has more abilities than the more advanced Daleks that we know of now. Anyway. I made the joke, did the whole Zygon incident cause UNIT to lose funding thanks to the Doctor? Because they didn't really explain how they lost funding until Flux. Oh, I thought the new casing that Dalek created that they only used for this one episode was a cheap Comic-Con Dalek cosplay. I think I preferred the Mighty Morphin Moffat Daleks instead of this.
Oh, what? You're like one of the few people who actually said that. I mean, I've never gotten the hate for that, honestly.
Oh, I know all the reasons behind it, because Matt Smith and Karen Gillan was like a foot taller than most of the other actors, so they wanted to make the Daleks seem intimidating, so they made them bigger and they made them colorful.
Like, what? An orange Dalek isn't that bad. I have an orange Dalek on my desk.
Didn't the Kuchiri movies have colored Daleks?
They sure did.
Yeah, I had nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that the reaction was so bad that they were just forgotten.
Shame. Yeah.
They completely stole the climax from Neil Gaiman.
Which
the 11th. So you know about, well, it's now 13 Doctors, 13 stories, but whenever I listened to it, it was part of the 12 Doctors, 12 stories. Have you heard that?
I have the actual paperback books at home.
Okay, so have you read them, the Doctor 11 story?
I have read it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Doctor 11 beats his villain from his story the same way they destroyed this Dalek in this story.
I see.
Exact same. Tricked them to go out to the Tardis into a star.
Well.
Yep.
And then also you got the whole Ryan's dad thing, which...
Yeah.
Meh.
I mean, at that point, just since they haven't been focusing on Ryan, I didn't really care that much.
Right.
I did like some of the lines. I liked, the doctor said you can come, but Graham will have to explain. I thought that was a great line. That was a great line.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. Yaz was still there, I guess.
Yes, it's still there, I guess.
That's actually how I put it down. So, Series 11, 2 of my 5 mentions was Yaz is still there. Yaz is still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So we go to Spyfall.
Oh boy. So Spyfall 1.
A lot of great lines. I decided my name is Logan, but I don't look anything like Hugh Jackman. That was a great line. I thought that
Like,
was hilarious.
I would say Spyfall 1, specifically Spyfall 1, is Chibnall's best episode.
I think of them as a 2-parter, and I actually put both of them in my top 20 favorite lists.
Oh, that's interesting because I we'll get to it, but I mean I think Spyfall 2 completely fucked it up.
Well, I don't know. So here's the thing. I follow a bunch of official Doctor Who pages. I did
Yeah.
way back in the Tennant era. And I remember like the day after the episode ended in the UK, they basically dropped the reveal of who the Master was.
Yeah, that's
They
why
did.
you
They
got.
didn't even give it a whole day. So like I knew the twist ahead of time, and
I knew
like
too.
what?
I knew it too. That's why I started like muting every Doctor Who thing right as it airs in the UK because they can't they can't say it. They can't wait like 7 hours until it airs
Yeah.
in the US before they're like, hey, look, here's the spoilers. Whoa.
Yeah, and so like it was interesting watching this episode with that knowledge, just to see how Sasha acted. Which, by the way, I know we talked about this. You don't like what they did with Missy, but apparently they explained what happened with Missy in a Big Finish novel, why she's back to being evil.
I mean, look, I will accept that the whole timeless children thing is the reason why. I just think it sucks that they don't really have it like they just kind of
they
ignore it.
apparently ignore they apparently explained Big Finish that because the Master keeps on stealing regenerations, they put Missy in with her version of the Veil Yard, who explained
Oh, the Lumia! I've heard that one. Yeah.
yes, and so the Lumia basically explained, hey, I'll give you another set of 12 regenerations, but you gotta understand each body, each personality is going to be different. Not all of them is going to be good.
Okay.
And so that's basically how they explained this. Missy regenerated, and this person that she regenerated into took more from her past versions than. It's like explaining away, why no other Doctor has been as erratic as Colin Baker. Colin Baker's version was the one that was more erratic and tried to kill someone right after
Yeah.
regeneration. That was Colin's personality, or Colin Baker Doctor's personality.
I'll accept that explanation, but I will also say that it's not the job of Big Finish to explain that.
Yes, it's
It
not the
should.
job of Big Finish. Well, Big Finish has done a lot of good work, though. Like,
Oh yeah,
to bring back up Colin Baker, they made him a good Doctor.
they sure did. Like the cat is seething at you right now. I'm sure, but yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's good that Big Finish did that, but it shouldn't be their job to do it.
No, it really
I'm
shouldn't.
glad they do, but I mean, it should be Chibnall's job to explain the stuff in the main show. But yes, Spyfall 1. What else have we got?
I mean, there really isn't much in Spyfall 1 other than the fact that I thought it was great. I loved all the references to spy movies. I put down a joke that you guys better not bash my man's Stephen. Oh man, I completely
Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry. I would have loved to see Stephen Fry as a Doctor at one point in time. Just saying. It's unfortunate that he only got 5 minutes this episode. Like I in our chat I even reposted my GIF comments around that.
And then Spyfall 2 happens.
Which the first 3 minutes of Spyfall Part 2 is some of the best Doctor Who I've seen in years.
It's also just Blink. It's just It's just I've left
it's
a message
Blink,
for you.
but it's still. And I think I explained this whenever I started Flux. What was missing the most from these first 13 episodes was fun.
Yeah.
I went from complaining that what we were missing in Moffat area was like slow moments because it was moment, 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 right?
Right. Yeah.
We really don't have moment, 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 or even just moment, moment in Jodie's era.
Yeah.
We don't have just something that is just fun, which is weird. Like, I don't know how to explain, but that opening was a fun opening.
I'd say so. But I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that's wrong with Spyfall 2 that I've gone into at numerous lengths.
Well, and then we talked about it. You didn't like how they wiped Ada memory, and
Like,
then later on they don't wipe Tesla's memory.
exactly. That's a weird double standard that Chibnall really should have caught. I mean, he either should have been consistent one way or the other, because that's his job. It's the showrunner to make the whole cohesive thing make sense, I would argue.
But the thing is, there's still some really great lines because of part one in this episode, like when Jodie beats the Master, and Master goes, "Oh," and she goes, "That's her name. Don't let her out."
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, no, it was just like, oh damn, she just backhanded the Master right there so hard.
And if we're talking about ethical fuckery, I mean, the whole Eiffel Tower thing.
Yeah.
Now we'll see who you really are. Is like, holy shit. What are you
I mean,
doing?
I'm surprised, the Master didn't come out in the new generation. Just showed up in part two, someone else. Like,
It's actually a funny thing. But I was watching the thing the other day about extended canon, and apparently for those 75 years, the Master just sort of lived in Soviet Russia.
Oh God.
So that's
He's the reason why. We shouldn't go into current topics. Anyway.
He's the reason why. Anyway, what other ethical fuckery is?
I forgot to mention this in the resolution. I do like how the Doctor did also do a backslap comment to Ryan's dad.
Dang.
So between these three episodes, I did like that the Doctor was more, I guess sassy is the right word. Like before resolution, she didn't really have that many comebacks.
Oh yeah, Gallifrey. That's another thing in this. This is when the whole
Gallifrey got destroyed again. And I did a whole rant like, wait, we only had one Gallifrey story since it came back.
Yeah, Hellbent. Yeah,
we only had one Gallifrey story. Why did you destroy it? We couldn't have had at least another few.
I keep saying it. I kept saying it, and this is where it first came up in the series. Remember 2007 when the show was good?
Basically, yeah. No, this is when they were trying to create the Series 3 status quo, which Series 3 is my least favorite season for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, for better or worse, they are doing that.
Oh, and then, like, after I explained my reasons to Frezno, he was like, oh yeah, no, that's some issues.
Yeah, but that's a Spyfall. It's a strange opening. And then we get an episode that nobody but me likes. And I mean, my like is kind of, ambivalent. It's like,
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This episode would have been a lot better if they cut out half the characters and at least gave us an extra 10 minutes of the characters just chilling in this resort, relaxing their own ways.
Like you were saying about It Takes You Away, where it's overstuffed and every 10 minutes could be a classic Doctor Who serial. But this is absolutely way too clogged for good. It's big mess.
They get to this resort and no less than 2 minutes later, everyone's in danger.
Yeah.
And it's like, could you at least, I don't know, maybe if you're trying to bring in Thasmin, maybe have a scene where Thasmin invites, Jodie to the pool, and Jodie and Thasmin's chilling, and Thasmin's listening to this whole old married couple, and that's what Thasmin wants. It's wants with 13. Like, you could have added that in.
But like they said at that panel a while back, after Series 11, they forgot. And it was all the fan shipping that made them go, oh, people actually ship these people.
Yeah, and I mean, there was not... You have a chance to have your resort episode, and you threw it away within 2 minutes. and then you make it about global warming.
Which, I mean, it's definitely, I appreciate the, what's the word I'm looking for? Aggressively political angle of it.
But here's the thing, like I'm, and I said this in the chat. I'm religious. I believe in God, but don't push me to go to church. I don't want to be, preach that. I believe in, going green. I believe in trying to help improve the earth, but don't preach it at me like this,
Mm.
And I think I even put down they could have rewrote this episode, not put this on Earth, put this on another planet. Maybe have the Doctor goes, oh, this is what happened when this planet, or maybe have it like Ryan reads something off a book or something where it's like, they didn't listen to this planet scientist and the world went this way. And Graham goes, wait, this could happen to Earth? And the Doctor just looks Graham in the eyes for like a solid 5 seconds and then move on. Boom, now you have your powerful commentary on climate change without being preachy.
I get that could work, but at the time I remember liking the fact that I didn't. It is preachy. I saw it as being screaming into the void, "Do something for the love of God!" And
Yeah.
I mean, Cat's stance on that was, we can't change the system because we're powerless individuals, and we need to, you need to rework the entire fucking capitalist system. Which I would very much like to do that, but I don't know if that's realistic times or not. But
But you get a lot of this bad stuff, like the whole message turns into you better start growing green, or else you turn into these horrible teeth monsters. Then you have this whole speech about, this is just a possible future of Earth that can be changed. Oh, okay. None of the other times it can be changed. What?
Well, continuity contrivance, Doctor Who continuity doesn't fucking exist. But yeah, I enjoy the episode, but I understand if people find it, a little too on the nose, shall we say, or saying the wrong problem.
It's like the whole Bella and Kane subplot could have been erased. The whole Silas and his super smart kid could have been erased. I don't know. It just felt bad. I don't know.
Gosh.
It could have been better. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of, it screaming that out to me.
That's valid. And so, the Tesla episode, which I think is another very good story.
Oh, it was great. I think they did Tesla the right way. And then, this is the thing. Like, they didn't trivialize anything Edison or Tesla did. And they still had a way to add an alien that was somehow worse than Tim Shaw to it.
I kind of like the whole invention angle with the Doctor, where she mirroring her with Tesla because she invented her own screwdriver. And that
a mirror, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of mirroring going on. Hey, Brainiac.
Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert.
But a few things. At this point, I realized why I didn't like any of the villains. They aren't intimidating. Like, none of the villains up to this point were intimidating. Except for the Master. And I think that's another reason why I like Sasha's redemption of the Master, because he was actually a threat. Scorpion Lady was worse than Tim Shaw, and Tim Shaw was a joke for a multitude of reasons.
Yep.
But at this time, it was also the Doctor just randomly having a preachy message to Yaz and, the future of Tesla, and then they didn't erase Tesla's memory.
Yeah, it's, if you were going to do it, like I said, do it one way or the other. This way, it just makes it seem bad because you erase the historical women's minds, but the men, they get to keep their memory.
I also thought that maybe they erased Edison's mind, but Tesla knew that if he started talking about there was aliens and the Doctor and all that stuff, people wouldn't believe him because they already think he's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's inconsistent and
It's inconsistent, yeah, but nothing you can do about it at this point.
yeah, but otherwise, it's a strong Chibnall episode. And then we have another one that's, I don't know if it's strong or not. I liked it at the time, but I don't know how much of that is because of the reveals being like, oh my god.
The thing is, like, I knew who Ruth was going to be in this episode.
I completely was blindsided by this. I knew about John Barrowman being. I did not know about Ruth.
And here's the thing. If I didn't know about Ruth, I think I would have caught it within the first 15 minutes.
I really didn't catch on until like we got to that
because there was that random line about Ruth's husband being a companion.
Oh, yeah.
Who else uses the word companion throughout Doctor Who?
That's well, I mean, it's hard for you to say because you already knew going in, so you had eye to it.
But then there's the moment where Ruth is like reciting all her vitals. My name is Ruth, age 44. And then that's almost a mirror of Ted's scene from the family.
Yeah.
My name is John Smith. I am 30. And it's almost said in the exact same way, in the exact same panic. If I missed the companion line, the second she started saying that, oh god, she's the Doctor. I would have realized that from that point because she was literally just mirroring Tennant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, with Tennant, this episode basically is. I know you said Series 3 is your least favorite, but this is just like Series 3.
Oh, it's a love letter. I mean, you get the Judoon coming back. The Judoon hasn't been around since. Well, maybe they were in the background during Series 4 whenever he was talking with the Shadow Proclamation.
No, they weren't just in the background. They were there in Series 4, and I think that's the last time they really showed up.
But the Judoon was the big opening opening alien at the start of Series 3, Smith and Jones.
Yeah.
But
Captain Jack is back, and you had the whole thing with the watch, like human nature, And what do you think of Jo Martin as Doctor Who?
Oh, she's great. I want an entire 6-episode miniseries featuring her adventures. I would love it.
Big finish, please. I mean, they're doing a little comic with her.
Yeah, actually. I mean, not even just that. I mean, they could. I know they don't want to distract from the actual 14th Doctor, but I would love just a little miniseries, just like a side series. Like you can just put in the side, just like a few specials. I want to see Jo Martin working her best as a Doctor by herself, not working off of Jodie. Which, by the way, the two of them going off at each other about each other's outfits, amazing. It's like you could definitely tell that they're both the Doctor in that scene.
Yep. It's good. I think I like this episode. I don't know how I feel.
I definitely like this episode. I think Jo Martin is. It just makes it, and I think I said something. It's like, how telling is it that I want to see an entire series off of, a character that was only fully revealed for 5 minutes instead of the character I've seen 16 episodes of at this point.
Yeah, like you were saying with the Arachnids, where it's like, oh, it's 4 episodes, and she still doesn't know who she is, and Jo Martin's like, oh, 5 minutes, boom, I'm the Doctor.
Oh yeah, she's fully in character. She's fully like confident. She's fully in the. I mean, she felt a lot like you could tell that she turns into Hartnell. Like they had the same grumpy mannerisms.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could, if you tell me that she turns into William Hartnell, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hartnell took the grumpiness from her.
Yeah, I guess that's how you have to go for it if you're going for a pre-Hartnell Doctor. You had to make it more grumpy. But so the next is Praxeus, which is deeply, the airtime was deeply, deeply unfortunate. I mean, they made it before COVID was a thing, and then it's like, oh no, there's this dead piece. Oh god, oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't like this episode. It was another pollution, global warming episode.
Yeah, it's weird that they did. I guess it's like a hot topic issue, but I mean,
It's like in the series 11. Let's have two very serious historical moment episodes, and then series 12. Let's have two global warming episodes at the same time spots.
well, it's more pollution global warming. It's still, it's still ecological.
It's still ecological, but at the same time, I like how the previous episode leads into this, where at the end of 5, the doctor's like, "Oh, there's 3 things going on at once," and then you kind of start getting this mystery throughout the first half of the episode, which is kind of unique. Then you get the really gross looking, scaly way these people die, which is a good effect.
Gnarly, yeah.
It's like the oh my god, what's the fear of all the holes?
The what?
Whenever people post pictures of like a pregnant frog's back and all their pores are like a mile wide.
I have no idea what this is.
Rainiac would know what I'm talking about. People have a fear of like Swiss cheese like stuff on things that are not Swiss cheese.
Right.
And that's kind of like what the disease are. Like if you have that fear, you're like, oh god, I can't even look at it.
Nasty. Yeah. It bravely subverts expectations by having the 2 gay men live through the story. That's something
They did bury the gays. What?
They didn't bury the gay. Yeah, the fact that that's a surprising like twist of oh my god, that says a fucking lot about how far the show's fallen.
Tryptophobia. That's what it is.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I think Praxius is fine, from what I remember. Just fine.
And of course, you look up images of that. It's all the Photoshop stuff, like hands or just Swiss cheese. Anyway,
So the next one is, oh, can you hear me?
I really don't remember much of this episode. I remember the finger guy.
Yeah. I remember really liking this episode, but to be fair, as I said in my blog, the reason it really vibed with me was because I had a really bad anxiety meltdown the weekend it aired, and so it really resonated with me because it's all about mental health and anxiety and fear and shit.
Like the fact that at the very end of the episode, it got turned into helping improve mental health is a good sign because I like that. I feel like the whole goal of trying to awaken the other evil god and then somehow trapping that evil god just didn't. I don't know. Do you just leave the villain the first guy with the fingers?
I guess they're trying to up the stakes for the climax. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's like it's not the Dream Lord. It would have been great if they brought back the Dream Lord. They could have made the Dream Lord a female and have her dress like Jodie, kind of like how they did the Dream Lord with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would have been better instead of detachable finger man.
Yeah, I like the bad dream things. I mean, Ryan obviously is still fucked up about the climate change thing from 55, which could have tied into his exit in a couple episodes, but didn't really. And and Yaz gets characterization with her thing, so that's.
But I mean, again, we had no idea what Yaz's biggest fear was because we haven't had anything about Yaz in 18 episodes.
Now we know, and Graham's is heartbreaking, but I think Can You Hear Me is a good one.
And it's like, here's the thing though, and I even brought this up in our chat. Like, was there anything else that woman? Like, you could have said that woman turned out to be a lover later on that Yaz met up with. No, it's just a cop that gave her inspiration. That's all she is.
Yep, basically. That's it. Oh, well.
It just feels... Give us more character development of Yaz. I mean, so at this point, this is episode 18 of this whole watch, and it's like, I don't know. Anyway, then around this time, I had my, Yaz is basically Martha rant. Martha wasn't really a character in the first half of Series 3. She was, in quotations, not Rose. Yeah. And then, like, the best episode of Series 3 happened, and Martha wasn't in it, really. And then they came back, and then, the Master showed up. and Martha's family, who's African American, is forced to be enslaved to the master, being forced to call him master. Yeah, no, that makes no.
Oh, bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's all bad. No, and then Martha, leaves, shows back up 6 episodes later with like 2 years worth of character development.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why couldn't we have the Martha that showed up in Series 4 as the Martha from the beginning of Series 3? Ignore the same dates as Rose World Tour. Ignore the Master subplot at the end, but I don't know. And that's where I'm getting with Yaz. We're getting nothing with Yaz. But yeah, so going back onto the whole Dream episode thing, it was really an episode that went, from high to low to a good message at the end. I mean, it gave the message across without being preachy, which, I just got done complaining about. They could do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about Mary Shelley now.
Mary Shelley.
One of the best cold opens of this era.
Oh yeah.
That was a great cold open, and the first. It felt like, and I made this joke. Have you ever seen Haunting of Hill House?
I read the book.
If you should, if you're into horror, don't mind jump scares, I do recommend watching the Netflix show on it.
Right.
But this felt like they were trying to take a lot of cues from that.
I think I've heard that about other. I think I've heard other people say that too.
It felt much like a love story to Haunting Hill House, which, by the way, last September, side note, I went to Orlando. I went through the Haunting of Hill House haunted house that they put up.
Spooky.
It was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate's a big Haunting of Hill House fan, and she loved every second of it. We stood in line for 90 minutes just to go into it.
In October, I went out to a graveyard and went on a haunted hike, and the man jump scared me from inside the graveyard.
Oh, nice.
But fun. But yeah, this one's got a lot of interesting things. I mean, it's got the best use of the lone Cyberman.
Yeah.
Where he's just a spooky, Frankenstein mirror thing.
Yeah, and then apparently, one of the other doctors had Mary Shelley as a companion. They said
it was the eighth, yeah.
Yeah, the eighth doctor, and then they just basically said Mary Shelley got the idea for Frankenstein from Cyberman. So I mean, they're kind of remaking that story here, I guess.
Kinda, I guess.
Yeah. But then, it goes from a 9 out of 10 episode to a 5 out of 10 because, the doctor. This, I don't know. I felt like they could have done a decent ghost story with this instead of just making it about the lone Cyberman.
Yeah.
And then the Doctor had a really great speech. It was one of her better speeches of her whole series so far about how she has to make the wrong decisions.
Oh yeah, I'm on the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, you actually get. I don't know. You actually get good moments from this because it's like. She got warned by one of her closest friends to not give the lone Cyberman what he wants.
Oh no! Percy Shelley's going to die. All of history will be altered. Oh wait, the Cyberman's killed all these servants already. Oh well, I guess they weren't important.
Yeah, I mean, and it just made the whole Captain Jack scene pointless. And considering we're basically due to never seeing Captain Jack again because of other things.
Well, we'll see him one more time in this discussion.
Yeah, we will. But I don't know, it's just... I don't like how it just made his whole random cameo pointless in episode 5. Because she...
To be fair, it was pretty pointless already.
It was pretty pointless, but he did give a warning. I mean, you don't give that warning and then have the Doctor go through with it. But hey, another Mirror to Series 3. There was a invisible part 1 to a 3-part finale. Just like Yana.
God. Yep, and so does that lead us into Ascension?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about Ascension.
I think...
other than one other thing, why didn't Mary Shelley's mind get erased? Why?
No consistency. Hooray!
Yeah. Anyway, so Ascension.
This is one of the worst goddamn episodes.
I mean, I didn't mind the beginning of it. It felt more like a final episode of a season than Tim Shaw Part 2 did.
I mean, that's just it. This does not feel like the final episode of the season. This feels, like I said, this is a 50-minute trailer for the season.
But at least set the stakes. It set the stakes where, Tim Shaw Part 2 did not set any stakes throughout any of its episode.
I don't know. I this is where I officially checked out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a lot of stuff. I did enjoy or dislike it. It felt like a middle episode. I liked how it tried setting up the finale better than Series 11 did. I did say that I think Sasha will be a great Joker. I mean, the purple jacket fits.
Yeah, there you go.
I also liked the conversion shame was a good line.
Oh, God.
Conversion shame was a great line.
Oh, my Lord.
And again, that's part of Jodie gained some slapbacks in this series, which she had no slapbacks in the previous one.
Yeah.
And then I had a rant at the start of the final episode of Series 12.
Oh, boy. Here we go. The Timeless Children.
Yeah, Graham is boosting Yaz's ego. And we don't know anything about her, and we don't have any scenes with the two of them proper before this. There's not one scene with Graham and Yaz before this episode.
Whoopsie-doo.
Anyway. This is them putting a lot of character building through a personal conversation, and we didn't see any of it. But the thing is, this whole scene is to just set up a joke about Graham being insulted by being told he's not a bad human.
Oh my gosh.
You finally get this character building scene between these two companions that had not had really a scene. I think they maybe had talked to each other during Rosa. Maybe. Or during 11-6. But you now have the scene, and it's all just a setup for a joke. Yay! But then here's the real question.
The real question.
And I don't know, because I didn't listen to you guys' podcast. The very first regeneration would have been something taught in Gallifreyan's grade school, right?
I guess. Never really thought about it.
So the fact that the master is educating the Doctor on who the first regeneration was, where the first regeneration came from. We're not even talking about the time travel. We're just talking about this is just the pinnacle of Time Lord and Gallifreyan history. I feel like that's something that
maybe they were told something else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that they could have done this a little bit better, but
they definitely could have done a lot of this a little bit better, couldn't they?
I'm going to be, and I feel like I'm the only one that has said this in my Discord, I see nothing wrong with the revelation.
I mean, I can live with it, but I don't like it.
I am perfectly fine with the whole timeless child twist.
It's kind of like pulling the gun on the Seventh Doctor thing in a weird way. It's taking the Doctor and giving this grand, epic backstory, and it's like
they tried doing it with Doctor 4. They brought back the random faces from that Doctor 4 episode where they
that's the whole thing. It almost feels like that was made to explain this dumb fan theory from back then.
No, but I can see it. I don't again, I personally I see nothing wrong with it. I see it makes personally to me it makes a lot of sense for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Doctor has always been different, they've always described the Doctor as different, even back during Doctor 2 area.
Yeah.
Like, he was the hobo that was rebelling against the rest of his race.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, he's always been different. She's always been different. I mean, and then, you really want to focus on the whole 12 regeneration things. But then you think about it, there's, before even Capaldi and before the whole explanation that the Time Lords gave Matt Smith a whole set of regenerations, we already had more incarnations of the Doctor than 13. If you want to count Valyard, if you wanted to count the Hand, if you wanted to count the Keeper.
I mean, the Hand counts for the 13 that Matt Smith.
Yeah, that's but you gotta understand, if if Tennant or the Hand is meant to be Doctor 12, then who's the Valyard, who was apparently an incarnation around the 12th Doctor?
Well, that's just getting into a whole other.
Yeah, but the thing is, now with this whole timeless child explanation, now we just have a easy explanation. The timeless child's entire race just has infinite regenerations. Done. You don't need to focus much more on that.
For better or worse, you're right.
They also said that the first Time Lords who adopted this was like, yeah, we'll just cut you off at 13. Meaning, oh yeah, they can have more than 13.
Yeah,
like I just like the explanation.
Mm.
And then it allows, if they wanted to, it allows you can have much more darker stories of a Doctor that didn't quite know friendship, because Hartnell was the Doctor that finally warmed up to humans, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you do anything before that kind of screws that up. It was one of the arguments against it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you could have Jo Martin be the grumpy Doctor that only had a few non-human friends, which we'll get to in Flux. She had her companions.
Yeah.
Or, you could do stuff like that. But I don't know. I like it. It's not like I could do without the twist, but at the same time, with the twist, I'm like, okay, that's good. That's how you keep this show going for another 50 years.
I don't hate it as much as I hated Ascension. I'll give it that. It was kind of just like, it's kind of was on a so bad it's good level where I was laughing at all the dumb stuff it was doing, like the big lore reveals, Cyber Time Lords, shit
Cyber
like
Time
that.
Lords was a mistake.
But I mean, I don't think it's a particularly good twist, but I think the show will live through it somehow.
But the thing is, at the end of everything, oh, I also liked using the theme song to break out the Matrix. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jodie got the what cliffhanger ending from Tennant's era.
Remember 2007?
Yeah.
And that will lead us into Revolution.
But before we get to Revolution, again, as I said, I even said this, you could have made Series 11, Series 12 a 20-episode series with most of 11 and 12 in the middle of it. Just have The Woman Who Fell to Earth, Spyfall be the openers, and end on this 3-parter, and nothing would have been lost.
Oh my.
It would have just felt like an American season of a show.
God.
But yeah, Hotel Dude is back.
Yay, and he gets off scot-free again.
Oh, yeah, no. My following line, mind you, again, if you're this running podcast, I'm just reading my thoughts as I was watching these episodes I put out in my Discord.
Oh, yeah.
My following line, like, oh, hey, Hotel Dude's back. Is he finally going to get what's coming to him? 17 episodes too late?
No.
Yep, that's it. Moving on to Flux.
Oh, God. You've got more to say than that.
No, I do. But the thing is, this special, again, was a Love Letters Series 3, because Yaz now has a whole year's worth of character development that we didn't see. She is Martha 2.0. That's real disappointing.
Oh, dear.
I do, so there's one thing, I like picking up on this small stuff, and I don't know if you guys brought this up, but did you know that the prison outfits changed?
Oh, did they?
when Jodie gets back to the TARDIS, all the markings on prison outfits becomes actual numbers we can read.
Oh, because of the TARDIS.
Yeah,
That's a cute detail. I didn't notice that.
that I loved it. I when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's great.
That's a very cute attention to detail. I'll give the episode.
And then they gave Jack his square gun back. That's been gone since series 1.
Yeah, it's the square gun again from two. Yeah, there you go.
And then the Doctor and Ryan finally had a one-on-one conversation on Ryan's final episode.
Yep, this is Ryan and Graham's last one.
Oh, we forgot to bring back the fact that Ryan's basketball subplot came and went.
Oh boy, Chekhov's gun, hooray.
Yeah. And then the whole question about the real name of the Doctor. So did the Time Lord just give doctors a fake name to pirate the plot of time of the Doctor then?
Who knows?
How does the Doctor know their real name if the first 200 to 400 years and the first dozen regenerations of her life is gone?
That's a very good question that kind of messes with that Moffat era story, but that's Chibnall.
And the thing is, skipping, I basically didn't care about any of the Dalek subplot to this. I mean,
it's very,
if you want to talk about the whole TARDIS trap, I thought it was a clever idea. I understand why some people might not like it.
Hi, Cat. Yeah, TARDISes are fucking sentient. Gotta say it for you. There,
yeah.
You killed the TARDIS.
The effect was cool looking, though.
The effect is cool, but
yeah.
But
But yeah, but I was not sad with Graham or Ryan leaving.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had a better reason for leaving than they could have done.
And at this point, I also was like, do we know anything other than Ryan, other than the fact that he's Graham's foster grandson now?
He has dyspraxia.
That's basically it.
And he's anxious about climate change.
Let's just say it this way. Let's have a hypothetical. How much will we have lost if the Doctor and Graham were the only two characters in the show, and Ryan was the side character that showed up every few episodes, or have Yaz be kind of like a side character, a friend of Ryan that maybe there's an episode where you could still have 11.6 and just have the Yaz be like Mickey the one time Mickey rode in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
How different would the show really be? Because we didn't really get anything. Ryan,
that much. I mean,
yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
But now, since apparently Ryan and Graham are all about hunting down aliens, where's that spin-off now? The actual spin-off?
I would have liked if they went to me more like, ecological activists or something. Making the world a better place instead of,
there was a line where Graham's like, oh, there's something weird happening over in Ireland or something. Do you want to go check it out? Oh, I do. But first, let's get you learning how to ride this bike.
Yeah. So, Revolution. Goodbye to Graham and Ryan. It's just going to be the Doctor and Yaz. Oh, whoops. Shotgun a new old white guy in.
At least this white guy's great. He I have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
But Dan really does speak really funny. It's like he tries to grit all of his lines out through his sparkling whites.
So, yeah. Is that all on Revolution?
Yeah.
That's Series 12 for you.
So, Flux.
The Flux. Flux 1.
Deep breaths. So first off, this episode starts out like how I said was missing for most of these episodes. It's a dumb thing to open in on, but it's still a fun sequence.
Oh, yeah. The booby trap.
The booby trap. The death trap. And that's the thing. Besides the plane crashing down in Spyfall episode 2 and this point, there's not any fun moments.
Yeah.
It's all been, I don't know, uneventful thingy. I don't know.
Well, this is eventful to a excess, I would say.
Yeah. It the whole thing feels like a dumb death trap from Curse of the Fate or Death.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But it's still just a good scene. It was shot well, you know. Anyway,
Scottish.
Scottish. Yeah, maybe I was Scottish. And then they did the whole joke with how kind of like how the Fourth Doctor has everything in the pockets. Jodie has everything in the pockets.
That's cute.
Like, why did you even? Why did we even bring handcuffs? They were just in my pocket.
And then like everything happens at once in this.
Yeah, I mean, we meet almost every single villain in the first episode, which I'm going to say, I honestly wish it was just Swarm, and Azul. That's all we really needed as villains.
Yeah. I mean, just have the Centaurs for that one episode 2.
Yeah. I mean, you could still treat this as a 6-part event over one major thing going on, and you can say that like the Sontarans and Weeping Angels are taking advantage of it. We did not need Taktayun. We did not need King Serpent.
Yeah, Snake Man. Yeah.
Because Swarm was just that threat. And then, of course, you know, Swarm added, hey, you know, before Hartnell, you and I, we were basically destroying galaxies fighting each other.
Sometime.
Yeah, I would love to see Joe Martin actually go against, you know, the original Swarm to see how...
To be fair, we did see... Well, we saw the end.
We saw the end, but I would love to see... Like, that's something I want to see in a miniseries of Joe. One of her mini fights against Swarm. I think that would be cool. Like, Swarm could easily be the master of the Pre-Doctor.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
And yeah, he looks goofy. He's a purple glare skeleton man, but he is threatening.
Sugar Skull Man, yeah.
Like, he is threatening. He is a good villain. The design is just great. I wanted to see more from him, and...
Whoops. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, should we just talk about Flux in general, or do we want to go episode by episode? Because I don't think I really did much of episode by episode at this point.
You can do it however you want. I mean, Flux is so like... I mean, we did it episode by episode because we were doing it by week.
Yeah.
But...
Well, you guys were watching it a week at a time.
Yeah. I mean, taking it all in at once. Oof.
We had the whole dumb "what would the Doctor do" moment.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that because it was something for Yaz. Table scraps.
But that's something Clara would do, though.
Clara wouldn't even have to... Well, Clara wouldn't even have to write it on her hand. She'd do it.
I mean, is at this point that there's no character development for Yaz? You're just trying to make her like other companions. You gave her her own Rose episode.
Yeah.
I want to go back to my family's past. You gave her, you know...
Martha.
You gave her Clara. Is this whole attraction to the Doctor one-sided Amy now? I mean...
Yeah. Well, that only happened in, like, the early...
I know, but...
11.
Well, I mean, it goes on through all of Series 5. Like, at the very end, you may kiss the bride and the finger to the lips. Yeah.
So, I mean, I liked part 1 at the time, but, like, I mean...
Oh, no, I liked part 1 and part 2. I thought they both were decent starts.
They're decent. It's when you start getting into, like, oh, they had to actually resolve some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they had great setup for all of it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's Chibnall. He's all set up, no payoff.
Oh, God, and then that random... Okay, so we also get introduced to Vinder, which I really am confused why he was not given part of the titles. Because he was basically as much of a companion. He was more of a companion than Yaz was.
Yeah, he should have gotten some good billing, yeah.
There's the whole episode where they were going to the bad memories, and we had another scene with Yaz playing a bad PS2 game that somehow had angels in it.
I love Gamer Angel is just so gonzo that I can't help. You know I latch on to dumb imagery like that.
Oh, the scene where we were talking about with the whole flashback between the last time Ruth faced Swarm.
Yeah.
Why? We didn't need Jodie in that scene.
No, it flashed back to her too much.
Yeah, they needed whenever they revealed that was just like that Dan was playing
Carvanista.
Carvanista, which by the way, hindsight, I wish they would have made Carvanista Dan in makeup. I think that would have just made all those scenes like 20 times better, especially with the whole twist that Carvanista was a companion, and at the same time, was Dan was playing Carvanista. This would have been like so many great layers there.
Yeah.
But the second it was revealed that it was Joe Martin's doctor, Jodie should not have been in that scene.
Yeah.
Bring back the guy that was killed in the Judoon episode. Bring back,
What?
I don't know, a random person to be who Yaz was pretending to be. Or you can have Yaz pretend to be the guy that married Ruth. But,
Yaz could be the other Time Lord lady in June.
Something like that. But you should have just had Ruth carry that whole scene by herself.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they added more storylines out of nowhere. Like, they gave us a bunch of storylines in episode 1. Why add more in episode 3?
Yeah, like you had a vendor's girlfriend.
Vendor's girlfriend, just because this was whenever she was revealed and she was an extra character. I'm like, oh god, why are we getting more extra characters? Because at this point, they don't even explain who Azul was pretending to be, who the man that Swarm killed to revive Azul was, and then they don't explain any of that at all.
Nope.
And, Vendor and Dan had gotten a lot of development, and guess who did it?
Yes.
Yes!
And so then we come to the Village of the Angels, which is the last good Flux episode.
I am many things, but not ridiculous. Really? Have you looked at yourself or your past forms? And then they gave Angels more new abilities. And I was like, remember when Blink was Pinnacle Doctor Who and they were perfectly fine? Then
I like the weird Moffat alchemy angel thing. So I'm honestly surprised Chibnall went and furthered that. I mean, there's a lot of it's cool shit. That's cool shit.
I made jokes about the Division and how it's like Foundation X from Kamen Rider.
I mean, the Division is basically it's Walmart brand Silence.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So, I love the Silence arc. On the rewatch, I really gelled with the Silence arc. I see that. I mean, you've got a lot of striking images and stuff, and Jericho's great.
I want the next Doctor to have a tree in the middle of the TARDIS, kind of like how Tectoon does.
Well, that's in part 5, but
I'm just again, I'm like, I don't think I even episode titled these in the notes. I was just shorthanding it.
I'm just guiding along with my little own thoughts, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you weren't. I don't think was it you who weren't too fond of the final cliffhanger, Dr. Angel.
No, I didn't really like it that much. Like, it looked cool. But here's the thing. Like, I like cliffhangers. I like cliffhangers when the cliffhanger is resolved in a nice way. So, I might have liked the cliffhanger at first, but then when the following scene at the start of episode 5 happens.
Oh, yeah. The resolution.
Yeah, and then, like, then in retrospect, and, we make fun of these during the Classic Who reviews. Like,
oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, and like it's that like I don't like those cliffhangers in Classic Who. I'm glad that we're in a format where it's just one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Then you get great cliffhangers like the Yana cliffhanger. You get great cliffhangers like I'm brain farting so bad there.
There's some good ones.
Yeah, there's good ones out there, like the Series 5 cliffhanger, where
Series 2 cliffhanger,
Doomsday, Series 5, when Amy's in the Pandorica and she tells her younger self things are about ready to get wild. Like, those are great cliffhangers. And then you have cliffhangers that look like it's going to be mind-showering. Oh god, the Doctor just got turned into a weeping angel!
She's fine.
She just undo it herself and walk around.
Yeah, survivors.
Yeah.
That is my least favorite Chibnall now, I think.
But the thing is, it's like, I think it would have been cool, and Chibnall could have done this in episode 4. Or could have even done this in episode 1. Like when, oh, what's her name? Psychic's name.
Psychic who?
The psychic.
Claire.
Like, whenever like, when Claire says, oh yeah, no, I got zapped backwards, they could have shown when the angel touched her that when you get thrown back in time, you do turn into an angel, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you just break out of it in whatever time period you're in. They could have added that to the whole thing, right? And then the whole, oh yeah, we turned you into an angel so we can travel you to Take Tiyun would have made more sense, because that's how they make you time travel.
Well, I think it's less. I think what they're going for is less time travel and more like dimensional travel.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still. They could have still shown that they forced people to be angels so they can move them.
I guess.
And I think I don't know. I think that would have made the cliffhanger feel better to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, no, it's a striking image. It's like, oh my god, image, right? Are Weeping Angels Time Lords? What? You know.
And yeah, we got to sit with that for a week, and you got to sit with it for 5 minutes. So I think that explains a lot about your disappointment.
True. Binge watching ruins everything.
Yeah.
I like the Angel's great. I love the whole what's his name? Jericho speaking with the angels and taunting them, kind of. He was a great character.
Jericho's great.
Yeah. Again, we got a lot of development with him and Claire, but who did we not get any development from?
Yes. Oh, and hey, look what happened again. We go to the next episode. 3 years have passed, and we don't see any development from Yaz.
No, sounds
like you've been saying.
Yeah. I do like the Mountain Man in this episode, and then Diane also showed up out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, Diane. We haven't touched. Diane really didn't do much, now did she?
No, she was Dan's motivation, but she was kind of fridge, but not really fridge. She was just put in the freezer.
Yeah.
Just for layer.
Yeah, basically.
I do really enjoy the Mountain Man. The Mountain Man was the best part of this episode.
I think a lot of people enjoyed the.
I'm teasing you.
Brainiac really liked that man. I remember.
But yeah, no. The thing is, Flux has too many antagonists.
Flux has too many plot lines.
Too many plot lines. Too many antagonists. I mean, I even brought out, they could have made this three parts. They could have trialed of the Time Lord us. Just do three parts. Have a 3-part where Swarm and Azul's the main bad guy. Focus everything on them. Have a 3-part with the Grand Serpent as the main bad guy. Have Kate be the companion. Like, bill her as companion, right?
Yeah.
Bill Vander as a companion. Maybe have Dan be the main, the companion for Swarm and Azul. Have him be traded out for Kate and Dinder, right?
Yeah.
For Grand Serpent. And then have a 3-part with Take Tiyun and just have that be the Doctor and the Ass. Like, I feel like if they would have done it that way and gave each villain their own spotlight, yeah, you could have still worked in all the Angels and Sontarans, and then you introduce a lot of characters, you don't explain half of them. Azul's husband never gets explained. The reason how Azul got captured never got explained. Like, Swarm was put into prison. Why was Azul forced to be a human living in Antarctica? I don't think it was Antarctica, but
wherever it was.
There was a warning beacon that she broke with a bat.
And the climax of Flux is so disappointing. Like, again, Doctor doesn't defeat anyone really.
The Doctor doesn't defeat anyone, and there's 3 of her. You could have at least done something good, but no, you don't. And then we haven't even talked about the tunnel guy.
Oh yeah, the tunnel guy. It's nothing. It's like there's too much going.
I mean, I think his whole plot and the resolution was kind of cool, but they still screwed that up.
They just kept showing him, and it's like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna do. He's just sitting there. He's gonna do something, and it's gonna be good.
But the thing is, it ends with a massive Deus Ex Machina. All the villains are not really defeated by the Doctor.
Yep.
You have a moment where Calvinista finds out his whole race is dead.
For no reason.
You have a random line, oh, I can't talk about it, or else I'll die.
Wow.
I'm glad he gets to give the big middle finger to Sontarans, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this final episode of Flux has done something one other show has done.
Huh?
It made me hate the entire season.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
up to that point, I enjoyed the first, 3.5 episodes of Flux. But after I got done with this episode, I hate all Flux.
Yeah.
Just because of this one episode.
And the Flux definitely, soured me totally. God.
Yeah, you said episode 5 broke you. Episode 6 was what broke me.
It's like a 1-2 punch. Good God.
Up until that point, I still had no idea why there was a bunch of hate on Chibnall from you guys. I had no clue. I had no clue.
I mean, Ascension broke me, but I mean, you proved you power to you. You made it.
Yeah.
But eventually it wore you down.
But the thing is, I got so fucking mad.
Yeah, mood. So did I.
But yeah, no, I don't know if I should talk about Kamen Rider Ryuki and why that made me hate the whole show.
God.
It's up to you if you want me to bring that up.
Well, can you be succinct about it, or is it a whole rant? Or?
Yeah, it's basically the final episode. Basically erases everything from the first 48.
Okay.
Yeah. So you watch 48 episodes of something. Mind you, I'm saying this, I know a lot of people love Ryuki.
Right.
It's, it's one is some of
the Rain, put up a Kamen Rider Ryuki spoilers.
I'm not going to say what the spoiler is.
Okay.
But the final episode just basically erased everything.
I see.
Yeah, it's I don't know if that really spoils anything, but yeah.
Well, this doesn't really erase anything, just sort of made everything kind of pointless.
But the thing is, it's it makes everything pointless, and it makes the journey to this point a waste. And then, you have the whole thing where the Doctor finally gets the pocket watch. Then throws it into the bin.
And it's like, Chibnall did, there was this video he did, like a 15-minute video explaining all this stuff, and he said, oh, the Doctor chooses not to have her memories. And it's like, you had to make a video to express that instead of expressing that in the show. And when you're watching the show, it really feels like she puts the watch away because Chibnall wants to put the watch away.
Yeah. So your major driving force for 5 hours, well, even more than 5 hours. I mean, you had the whole Timeless Children being the trigger for this, and Ruth being the trigger for this, right?
Yeah.
So this is 10 episodes of build-up for this fucking watch.
And boop.
Done. Yeah. You don't do that.
No. So that will leave us to the final episode as of now, at least for another 2 weeks.
Oh,
Eve of the Daleks.
Do you want to talk about the trilogy to the next episode after this?
I think I'll have to.
Eve of the Daleks was okay. That's it.
It's fine. Nick is a creepy weirdo.
I still wish they said he was a serial killer. Like the big plot twist, he was actually a serial killer.
Literally, every woman I know who watched that is like, this man's a fucking serial killer.
Either that or he has a high heel fetish and that's his collection.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no kink shame.
The episode is fine. I think it's the best of Chibnall's Dalek stories. But
yeah, I mean, it's a decent Groundhog Day episode, and as we said earlier, the Doctor actually saves the day for once. I didn't like either of the guest stars.
I can't say her name because I don't know Irish.
This episode also made me dislike Yaz. I know you guys go off on Dan outing her,
Uh-huh.
but Yaz, during the middle of this very tense situation where she just got explained that we are losing time every time this whole skip happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yaz turns into a power. Just talk to me about your feelings. Yaz, you've been killed 6 times now. You can be
It's
a
like
pouty bitch. You can be a pouty bitch after the doctor saves your ass.
it's like how you're saying moment, and how you like where they get quiet. It's like they tried to put one of those quiet things and jam it into a moment.
Yeah, and it's like, and then it was just something where the Yaz just being so pouty over this while the doctor is trying to solve this puzzle.
Mm.
Like I
I
like
mean,
the whole puzzle. I like everything they were doing there. It was,
it's a fine episode, but yeah, I mean, and like I said, you're doing this now, which I didn't know at the time. They're only doing this now because they realize the fans are doing it, and they honestly forgot about it. So that's like really, and,
but the thing is, it's like I even put in the notes. Yes, you have 1 minute to save the world. Stop being a whiny bitch for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like I don't know. Like they're finally trying to give Yaz character moments, but it's in the worst possible time.
And too little, too late, really. And that catches you up with the Chibnall era.
Oh, I also made a note of the random guy at the end of the episode. I would not be surprised if that random guy shows up in the 3rd special.
Oh yeah, the dude from the big opening. Yeah.
Well, I don't even think he was from the opening. There was just some guy that was watching the explosions that started celebrating.
Yeah, that's the dude from Tim Shaw in the first episode.
Oh, that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was just a random guy too, but that's apparently who it's supposed to be. The dude Tim Shaw was after in Woman. And so that is the Chibnall era.
Yeah, I think one of the last lines I said was Yaz is just a worse Martha, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah. So what did you think of your Chibnall adventure?
Again, I enjoyed 80% of it.
80%?
I mean, most of the episodes just felt like regular episodes.
Yeah.
I did it all in 10 days. I mean, Jodie Whittaker, as I said at the start of this podcast, amazing actress. Graham was amazing. Dan's amazing. Ryan and Yaz were there.
They sure were.
There was I don't know how best I can explain this other than until Flux they were just okay episodes. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't see why there was anger. I mean, they weren't insulting until Flux.
Well, you could see where I was insulted in certain places.
Yes, I mean, we even had this discussion whenever I got done with I want to say episode 3 of series 12. The reason why I love our podcast is because we're all 4 vastly different people with vastly different opinions on everything.
Exactly. It's fun to.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun for me to be the contrarian.
And then there's times where I'm the contrarian. I mean, and there's times where Aniac's the contrarian. There's times that Cat's the And the thing is, that's just it. We are all different people. We're not
Cat's
the same.
A Colin Baker fan, like televised Colin Baker fan. Like that in itself is contrarian to a Doctor Who received with an opinion.
We're not the kind of podcast where everyone's the same voice, just agreeing with each other. You know.
Yeah, you know. I've got my likes, I've got my dislikes. We all got our likes.
Yeah. And the thing is, I heard so many bad things about Chibnall. I thought I was going to be hating Series 11, Episode 4 and on. After I got a bad taste of Rosa.
Right.
But then, as I said, every episode was just
adequate.
Yeah. They were just, they were syndication Doctor Who episodes.
Yep.
And that's it. I mean, yeah, I did it all in 10 days, 20 episodes. But should we talk about Legend of the Aquaric Silurians now?
Which, a trailer for this dropped a few days ago as of recording, and within the first milliseconds, Jodie Whittaker says the name of the alien, not the alien, the creature.
And
And
because I'm okay with saying it, if you missed out our Warriors of the Deep episode last week, there's a lot of issues with calling these creatures the Sea Devils, basically because of what they're representing with their clothing. Yeah.
and the fact that this is like in ancient China
This is also in
help.
ancient China, Chinese pirates.
But like the way she says it is like she's saying the name of the Cybermen or the Daleks.
Yeah, and that's an issue. But it looks like whenever I brought up that they are remaking a story to be televised, kind of like how Mary Shelley's inspiration for the Cybermen came from the audio dramas. It looks like this is going to be a recreation of a Ninth Doctor comic book where he teamed up with, in that story it was Madame Vastra, but it doesn't look like she's going to show up in this one. But they went against the Mirka.
And it was like a giant kaiju sort of thing in that comic.
And you saw those fins. Those fins.
There's a big sea monster in this, and I mean, it's more likely, I think, it's a Occam's razor. Yeah, it's more likely that Chibnall is trying to redeem the Mirka from his childhood Doctor Who, where he grew up during the Davison era in the 80s, watching the show. It's more likely he's trying to do that, and he just invented a separate sea monster. I can buy him trying to redeem the Mirka, which, if you're going to redeem something from Warriors of the Deep, I would rather it be the ethical problems than the Mirka.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I guess we should talk about our theory for one of the things that's going to happen this episode that we started talking about in chat.
Yeah, because Mandip Gill is saying, "Oh, Yaz's exit is going to be real heartbreaking," and I thought, "Oh God, is she going to die in this episode?"
And I saw another story that claims that this episode is very emotional.
Oh God.
And we were joking, and it was like,
Legend of the Buried Gays.
Legend of the Buried Gay. What was it? I said, well, wait, this story isn't 2000 or 2007 or 1980. He wouldn't do it. And then like a few lines later, you was like, but companions come and go in the middle of the season. I'm like, oh God, she's dead.
Oh God. Well, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll find out if I'm not.
But here's the thing: if we're not wrong, are we going to be sad?
I won't be sad. I'll be kind of mad.
I mean, you have to give me something. Like Donna Noble had so much character development that it was the one in true time I cried my eyes out during Doctor Who.
Like, okay, I'll tell you something. Twice Upon a Time, when the Doctor remembers Clara, every time I cry like a baby.
Oh yeah, and that's because both Clara and Donna
mean a lot to us.
Got character development.
Shocker of shock.
It's so strange.
Well, we'll just have to see with Yaz, but I think that'll do it for this podcast. God knows how long it's been, but we've made it. We talked about every Chibnall episode.
And I got my payback to Rainiac for
getting you to watch the arc.
Where can you find us, Frezno?
You can find Kuchiri at the Kuchiri on Twitter and Twitch sometimes. You can find me at Freezing Inferno on Twitter and at twitch.tv/Freezing Inferno as a hard game VTubing champion sometimes. You can find our podcast Twitter at Reviews Doctor. And Rainiac can be found on Twitter at Rainiac Demaniac. Cat can be found on Twitter at Concave Usurper. Sometimes streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Concave Usurper. And don't forget to buy Back to the 11th Hour by Krista McTeer. But also, this is fun. We had a guest on the show in September, Sean Dillon, for our Paradise Towers episode. And Sean has released his novel, The Tower Through the Trees, available now on Amazon.com. Please buy.
Oh, what
Support.
else is going on with Christina you were talking about?
Oh yeah, Krista has Back to the 11th Hour Volume 2 coming out in a couple weeks, covering Series 6. So,
And
yeah, that's...
the Apparent Roundtable.
Oh yes, a round table. Yes, over on the site that she contributes to, the Hyperfixation, there's going to be a round table on the Legend of the Aquatic Silurians episode, featuring Krista McTeer, Will Shaw, Kimberly Chu, I think her name is, and one Frezno Inferno.
Oh, I heard that Frezno guy is lame. Anyway,
So yeah, that's yeah. I'm going to get to talk about that on my blog. I'm going to talk about it on the show, and then I'm going to get to talk about it with those fine people. So
it's
that's a
gonna be
lot.
great.
Yeah, I hope the episode's great. So, but thank you all
Say
for watching.
goodnight, Frezno.
Thank you all for watching our little discussion of Kuchiri's Chibnall era binge, and hopefully we will see you next week with the gang in some form or another back to actually discuss Tom Baker in Shada.
Parts of it may be animated recreation.
Well, yes, because they didn't finish the damn thing in 1980, but that's a story for when we get to the podcast. But until then, everybody, bye for now.
Bye for now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kuchiri, and welcome to this week's Doctor Who podcast review thingy. It kind of plans change a bit. I'm Kuchiri, and on my virtual right, oh god damn it, that's a mirror. They're actually on my left. It's Frezno. Oh wait, we were going to the other one.
Yeah, we were going to do the other one.
Ah, damn it.
Blooper reel. Hello. Look, you already got a blooper reel thing.
Anyway, okay. Well, third time's the charm.
3, 2, 1. Boop.